So this isn't your average dry book with a bunch of diagrams and everything like that. There's actually comics all throughout the book. So we have some really neat illustrations here. And not only that, we do have these reoccurring characters that will kind of give you some wisdom with throughout the book. This is Mr. Headcandy, and he helps you prepare yourself psychologically, because lending has a belief that survival is 90% psychological and mentality, while it's 10% gear and like methodology. And then he does talk about like fear and terror in America, like he talks about Y2K as well as some weather related disasters and how everyone kind of freaked out and then like hoarded a bunch of supplies and they kind of all went to waste afterwards. So I think he's definitely kind of delving into like the consumerism bit of survival and how that's kind of missing the point of it all. And then not only that, but he kind of talks about how there's like a lot of dangerous misinformation spread by people who don't really know what they're talking about, pretending to be either experts or selling certain survival items that are not fit for real survival situations. So I think that's important. And by the way, this is the perfect time to say I am not an expert, I am an enthusiast. And also there's this weird dichotomy where we're constantly fearing that something could happen to us, but at the same time in the back of our mind, we really don't think it will happen to us in particular. Most importantly, he talks about things that are often overlooked. So keeping your core body temperature at like 98.6 degrees is going to be super important. Exposure is going to be the number one reason why you would die in a survival situation. There's this also important distinction between whether you're going to be in charge of your own survival or are you going to just try to keep yourself along until a third party comes to save you, like a search and rescue type situation. So basically the way I feel about this book is I think it's very well rounded and reasonable. He does mention that some of the gear he is going to suggest will just be very accessible and easy to get, like through the convenience store or something like that, very basic things. And I'm really glad he's focusing on also talking about some of the misconceptions. I mean, I think when we think of survival and prepping, we just think of stockpiling, but I think there's so much more to that, and the fact that he's kind of against that sort of thing and he's really delving into the mindset, I think is really positive. Again, it looks like a very entertaining book. There's these characters that talk throughout the stories and all these little lovely illustrations, and the way he talks is like very casual and kind of funny and blunt, definitely not dry. So yeah, love it so far.